Good morning. It's still early. Everybody's just barely getting up around here. Tried to shoot this video once and had to stop because my dog wouldn't stop whining. So since I haven't done a video in a while, doing a little something different today, which is how I smoke pork butt. Yeah, it sounds bad, but it's not as bad as you think. So last night I put this in a brine. Look at that. A real simple brine, couple cups water, cup of brown sugar, couple tablespoons of kosher salt, some garlic smushed up and thrown in, and then I let it soak all night. And that is going to be dinner tonight. So next up is I'm going to get this out and coat it with some rub. This is hard to do with no one holding the phone for me, so it's going to be a little bit of take of this and a take of that. Be right back. Okay, so the other thing I forgot to mention was that as far as the brine goes, you got to make as much as you need to cover it. This is a good size roast. I can't remember what it weighs, maybe 7 pounds-ish. So the next step is I want to get this covered with some rub, and I like to make my rub. I'll look up recipes, and once you look up enough, you realize they're all pretty basic. Ton of paprika is kind of a, I don't know, I call it kind of a filler to help fluff it out a little bit. I don't really get much flavor out of paprika, but whatever. Paprika, brown sugar, those are kind of the main spices. I like to throw in, make sure there's some onion powder and some garlic and, things like that. A little bit of ginger in there, a little bit of mustard, some fresh herbs. And every time I make it, I end up with a bunch of extra. So I have saved it, and I'm just going to I'm going to use what I have left over. And pretty simple, just dump it on there, coat it all over it, and then I'm going to let it sit for a little while I get the barbecue ready. So I'll show you after I get this coated, but I can do this kind of one-handed. I don't have any fancy gloves like these guys either, so, but I'm literally just going to sprinkle it on there. Make sure I get all 6 sides, top, this side, this side, this side, this side, and the bottom. So I just want to coat it good and then give it a few minutes to sit with that. And we'll be back. All right, got it all coated. Another thing I didn't mention is I do not believe in trimming all of the fat off like everybody likes to do. That's all the flavor. I mean, I can cut it off after I cut it up and tear it up if I don't want it, but to me that's where all the flavor comes from. The other thing I didn't mention is I did pat this dry just a little bit before I started recording that last session, the last little clip, so that it wouldn't just be drowning in the water still. But that is coated and ready to go. I've washed my hands for about the 17th time now, and it's time to go get the barbecue going, and then I get to wash my hands again. So let's get that set up. And that's another dumb thing. Let's do this and we're going to do that. You know what? I'm doing it. You're watching. That's kind of bad English, bad grammar, improper. I don't know. Now I'm being dumb. It's early. Hang on. Let's get to the barbecue. Well, it's kind of a wet morning. So my way around this is I'm going to take a step back inside my shop with my barbecue. Did this last week and it worked out all right, so I'm going to do it again. I just set it right inside the shop door here. I'll move it a little closer, and then I got a fan to blow any smoke out. My hot tub I'm getting ready to set up. Got it for free. Right now it's holding laundry. So I've already got the grates out and got it dumped. And I need to set this up to burn for many, many hours. So let me get my charcoal and get that going. I'll show you the layout. Okay, I gotta say, filming this while doing this really slows things down. I should have had this on by now. So here's my basic charcoal layout. I'm also going to throw some hardwood chunks on there, but I'll let you see that afterwards. This should be enough to last me all day long. I've got my chimney loaded with some paper. I like to just use paper bags, whatever, but one thing that helps if you use these and having a hard time is leave a little gap there in the middle so it can breathe, and they tend to light a little easier. So I'm going to throw, I don't know, a dozen or so briquettes in there and light them up. I'm going to put them out there in my old little homemade barbecue I got. It's about dead, but it's good for lighting charcoal in, so that'll help keep some of the smoke out of here. And while that's starting, I'll put some hardwood chunks on here and then let you see. So charcoal's lit. Just want to let that go until all your paper's burned up and the smoke clears away and it's not that white nasty paper smoke. Put off a nice good heat. And got my wood chips on there. Only need them on the first bit because the last half is going to be wrapped in foil. And I'm going to run this fairly hot, so that's why so much charcoal. And I lay it out like this versus using a basket just because it's really no maintenance. I light it, I walk away, look at it every once in a while, and that's basically it. The other thing is don't use crappy charcoal. I've had horrible barbecues using cheap charcoal. I don't know if anybody watching this, if everybody has the Fred Meyer store, but they have Kroger brand charcoal. Ugh, worst stuff ever. It's great for burgers if you just want to light it hot, burn your burgers and call it good. It's fine for that. But if you want to do something that you have any control over, I like Kingsford. Just the regular old classic original Kingsford. So let this get started. And I'm going to dump it in and I'll give you an update. I have my sidekick out here making sure I do it right, keeping me safe from all the predators. Smoke's starting to clear, so not much longer and I'll be able to get that in there. Alright, the other thing I've done is I've added a pan of hot water in there just to help keep it moist while it starts cooking and during the smoking phase. And if we come over here to the charcoal, it's burning clean now and that is ready to go. So I'm going to dump that in, get my tongs, get it all set up in the right spot. Okay, see if I can get this one-handed. Put that in there. Set that bad boy there. Everything where I want it. And a couple pieces on there on top. All right, now get these on and start getting everything good and hot so I can brush it. And for the first little bit, I'm going to run this pretty hot just to help get everything good and hot and clean before I throw my meat on. So I want to open this up pretty good. Little trick when that sticks, it makes a good little hammer. Just open up most of the way because I really want to get it hot. I really want to get everything going good and get these grills hot. So there's that. Open this bad boy up, does no good. As I was saying before my camera cut off, You need to have both these open to get your temperature going. Also, don't trust these all that much. I'll actually put a probe in here to watch the actual temperature. And yeah, I find this is off by a lot. So wow, like everything that could go wrong in this video has, between a whining dog, wet weather, just every dumb thing. I couldn't find my wood chips. Then I ran out of pan spray because I wanted to heat these grills up, which is what I was saying, which is don't trust these thermometers. They're not accurate. I'm actually measuring what the inside temperature is, just trying to get it up hot so I can brush everything clean and get this pork butt on. So I've lubed up all the grills so they'll get good and hot, and I'm just going to brush them clean and then get that meat out here and get it on. Okay, I'm going to put the meat on the top rack so that the smoke, and I put it opposite the fire, the air comes in down here and it moves the smoke over and up and out there. So I am setting my meat where it will hopefully get the most smoke, and for the time being I set my probe to just monitor the temperature of the interior of the barbecue. Once I see that it's running around 200, 225-ish, I'll probably close things up so it'll hold that temperature and slow down the burn a little bit. But for now, that's all we can do. So give her a close, and I'll probably check it in about a half an hour to an hour. Well, once I get the burn going, probably within a half hour, I'll check it and make sure that the temperature is where I want it. And dinner's on. It took a little while with everything going wrong, but hey, at least it's on. And the way I do this so I don't die from smoke is I got my fan blowing the smoke out. Works good. So, all right, dinner's on. 10 hours later, we might have it. So it's been about 45 minutes, and it's such a chilly day that I'm still only hovering around 245 to 250. I walked out here a minute ago and the alarm was beeping, and since then it's cooled down a little bit. So I think I'm going to just close this guy down a little bit to try and keep that temperature down a tiny bit. But all in all, I think I'm going to let it run there for a couple hours. Just a quick check. And just so you can see the difference, this is saying it's 300, and you know, that's not. So charcoal's still doing good just to there. Meat's fine, and I'm going to go ahead and move my probe into the meat. Ouch. It's hot. I don't want it on the bone. I want to get it in there. And then I'm going to reset this to the magic temperature of 160. Let me go through the little manual settings here. There's one of these. There we go. 160. And we're going to put it at that. So once my meat hits that temperature, then we're going to wrap it up and just let it sit and cook for the rest of the time. By the way, these are awesome. Less than 20 bucks. It was very inexpensive for a single probe unit. And I highly recommend getting one if you want to barbecue and kind of know what's going on with your meat. So she's cooking now. We're going to let that go until that hits temperature, which is going to be a while. I'll just monitor the charcoal, make sure I don't need to add any more, and rock and roll. Dinner's cooking. So it's getting to be a little after 12, almost 3 hours of cook time, and I'm kind of fighting to keep my temperature up. The temperature on the meat is up to 99, but it's such a cool day, and with this fan blowing on it, it's really kind of keeping it cool. So it's going through my charcoal a little faster than I thought. I got to add some more. And let's just see where we're at on the burn. Yeah, see, do about half of that. So I'm going to need to finish this ring all the way around here. Get my little tool here. And I'm going to rotate the meat while I've got the grill open. Now I'm just going to get some more charcoal stacked up here to complete this row across, and maybe even add a little more to bump that heat up. So hang on a minute and I'll show you where we end up. Okay, before I close this up, I've run the charcoal all the way back as far as I can, kind of to the edge of the thing there. And I've added some more wood because this is definitely taking longer. This is probably the coldest day I've tried to smoke something like this on. So dinner might be a little later than expected. But yeah, I got it ramped up a little bit. We'll see how it does. I also rotated the cut and I moved it to this side, which may not be ideal as far as getting the smoke, but I didn't want it to sit above the heat too much. And also I didn't say that I do cook this fat side down to help protect it from the heat. Now, if you're using one of them fancy dancy smokers where the heat comes in from the top, you may want to do it with the fat side up. But I'm pretty low tech here. Don't use any of those fancy grills. I just like the old school method. And so I'm going to put these grills back, close this up, keep watch on it, and hopefully in the next couple hours it'll come up to temperature and I can get it wrapped. So, oh, she's a smoky one. Whew. Get this out here where I can see it. Barbecue's not that hot, I can put that right there. So, yeah, probe's in a slightly different spot. We're at 102. I am at 102, not we. You're sitting there at home in your comfy chair watching me look and sound like an idiot. So, rock and roll. Dinner's cooking. We're going to have a good one. We're going to make some collard greens and homemade mac and cheese to go with these. So, yeah, maybe I'll throw in some video of those as well. Show you a complete dinner around my household. And I got to say, you know, one great thing about barbecuing yourself, this cut of meat, I got a special on it. It was buy one, get one. So really, I paid about $8 or less for this great big pork butt. And that's going to feed 4 of us tonight and give us plenty of leftovers for another meal or two. So, you know, that's one sandwich at a good barbecue place. And it's pretty low effort. So, yeah. Oh, and my barbecue, I think I paid $120 for it. Maybe even less than 100. I don't know, 125. So, yeah. Man, worth it. Fun stuff. All right, check in later. All right, we're up to temperature. Now it's time to take this out and wrap it up. And I'm really flying through my charcoal, so I'm going to load up more charcoal while I've got it open too. There it is. All right, I'll check back once I got her all wrapped up. Okay, so I've got it all wrapped up tight. Ended up cooking a little bit darker than I normally do. Quite a bit darker than normal. But that's all right. This is going to slow cook in the foil for at least another 4 hours at this point. That's what I'm aiming for. Can't really see too well in here, but I brought the charcoal all the way around and back up and started bringing it around so that I don't run out of heat. And now it's just time to close it up and let it cook for the last little bit. Don't even really need the thermometer, but I'll probably throw the probe in there just so I can monitor the temperature. Just wedge this in here. Monitor the temperature of the grill. Okay. Reset this because that's going to go off if I don't. Let's crank this up a bit so I don't have an alarm going off. Just basically want to be able to walk out here and see how hot it's staying. Alright, so there we go. Let her sit. It's starting to rain outside, so it's a good thing I brought it inside. Ooh, pulled pork dinner with collard greens and homemade mac and cheese. I'm getting hungry. Well, it's 5:45. Still cooking. Ended up gathering up the charcoal to increase the heat. It's just been so cool, I'm having a hard time keeping the heat up. So I opened it a little bit ago to check it, and I might end up adding a little bit more. This says it's 400. That says it's 300. So that's why I don't trust that. But real quick, yeah, I'm going to get a little more charcoal in there to keep this going for another hour. Dinner at 7. Ooh, actually, that's probably good because I got to pull it out and let it rest for a little while too. So maybe I'll just leave that be. I think I'm just going to leave it be, let that burn out, and dinner time. I got collard greens cooking now, and the wife's starting her homemade mac and cheese. Ooh, it's going to be good dinner. All right, here it is, and it is just as tender as can be. A little darker than I wanted, but oh, it's so good. So there's that. Ooh, worked out good. Lots of juice. Learned a valuable lesson. Don't stick your magnetic thermometer to your barbecue. I melted the little foot on it. I'm surprised I didn't melt the whole thing. And she's got some homemade mac and cheese getting ready to come out right now. Ooh. Look at that. That's a good dinner. Collard greens. Alright, well, there you go. Dinner time. Dinner time. Dinner time.